We're connecting with community experts. We're connecting with you. This is Connect by 3 News.
And a very good Monday afternoon to you. I hope the weekend was good to you. Welcome to 3 News Connect. I'm Jay Crawford along with Monica Robins. And Monica, we're now into week number 2 of broadcasting from our homes. Seems like it's getting a little easier, at least on my end. I hope it is for yours as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm still wearing the yoga pants, Jay, so it's a little easier. We are doing our very, very best to honor the guidelines and stay at home. And yes, that involves doing our jobs. But the information about COVID-19 is constantly changing, so we want to give you the latest developments. There are, get this, 143,055 confirmed COVID-19 cases and more than 2,000 deaths right here in the U.S. In our area, Cuyahoga County has 101 confirmed cases, and the first death in the county reported last night. The death is a woman between 70 and 80 years old, and Summit County leads with the most deaths in Ohio with 5. The FDA has issued an emergency use authorization for 2 anti-malarial drugs that will help treat coronavirus. However, neither is yet formally approved to actually cure anyone from that virus. And new information late last night. This is actually some good news. A Columbus-based sterilization company, Battelle, got the go-ahead to decontaminate hundreds of thousands of masks, those N95 masks that medical workers are using. Now, originally, the FDA had only approved that they could clean 10,000 masks per day, but Governor Mike DeWine knew the company could make more and pleaded on live television to up the ante. Our Andrew Horansky has more and explains the impact of this company's production could have in the fight against coronavirus.
It was perhaps the most frustrated that Governor Mike DeWine has gotten in his political career.
We do not have enough of these masks, and we're frantically trying to get enough of these masks. That's the message, and sometimes you just have to say it that way to get things moving.
The governor planned not to hold a news briefing unless there was an emergency, calling this a life and death one, to allow Columbus-based Battelle to use technology that would sterilize tens of thousands of N95 masks, of which there's a major shortage.
And we have a solution, at least for part of the problem, in that we can clean 80,000 of these every single day. Free us, let us go do it.
The message to the FDA for nearly a week echoed today from the Rose Garden.
We're trying to get a fast approval for the sterilization of masks. That would be a tremendous difference. It would be really helpful.
DeWine described Battelle as the largest nonprofit research organization in the world, behind such advancements as the barcode and Xerox machine, now able to build machines not just for Ohio, but New York, Seattle, Washington, D.C., and Chicago that could sterilize each N95 mask up to 20 times, an innovation out of Ohio that could help people across the country as soon as this week.
We know there are people in the front line today in Ohio who are using their masks much longer than they normally would, and much longer than medical science would indicate that they probably should, but they're doing it because they don't have any choice. We're trying to...
That was Andrew Horansky reporting. Now happening right now, the USNS Comfort Navy ship just docked in New York. It's a floating hospital with hundreds of beds and Navy medical personnel on board. Now the ship is not for COVID-19 patients. It will take other cases to help bolster the healthcare system there. The ship is expected to start taking patients in the next 24 hours. And though, Jay,
what a welcome
back to
sight
you.
that is. Thanks, Monica. New at noon, the postponed Summer Olympics have a new date now. The International Olympic Committee, along with the Tokyo 2020 Organizing Committee, has announced that the Games will take place July 23rd through August 8th of 2021. A joint statement from all major parties involved said the main considerations for choosing these dates were the health of all athletes and others involved with the Games, supporting the containment of COVID-19, safeguarding the interest of the athletes and Olympic sports and the global sports calendar. The Paralympics will now take place August 24th through September 5th, also of next year. Here's how the coronavirus is affecting other businesses around the world, and this one is having quite an impact. Right now, Amazon employees are walking off the job. This is at their New York facility. They claim that the company mishandled its response to the coronavirus outbreak, deciding to keep the Staten Island warehouse open despite a confirmed case there last week. Deliveries are up, as you can imagine, and employees are working harder than ever trying to fill those orders. But this isn't the only walk-off that we're seeing. Instacart workers are looking to stage a nationwide walkout as well. A group called Gig Workers Collective says they've been asking Instacart to provide hazard pay and protective gear for the grocery delivery business. Instacart said Sunday it would provide workers with hand sanitizer upon request and outlined other changes, but the group says it's too late for that.
Well, those already trying to hunker down are now cleaning up after flooding across Northeast Ohio over the weekend. So check this home out in Parma. Dale Dotson's basement is now soaked as he uses his social distancing to clean it up. He says all the things he saved from his childhood now destroyed.
There's a lot of stress going on already in neighborhoods around the country, so this just added to it. I mean, you know, we're all concerned about safety, and then now you have sewage backed up into everybody's house. I mean, devastating, to say the least.
Flooding also stranded people in an apartment complex in University Circle, and right now, outdoor getaways like the Metro Parks and Towpath are still partially closed because
Monica Staple here on our 3 News Connect show has been connecting the viewers and their questions to our experts. And today, Monica talks to a doctor from the Cleveland Clinic in our Health Hub.
Joining me in the Health Hub is University Hospital's infectious disease expert, Dr. Keith Armitage. Can I get the virus from a gas pump?
I think it's much less risky in an outdoor hard surface, especially if the sun's out and there's extremes of temperature. But out of an abundance of caution, if you pump your gas, just do hand hygiene. And, you know, if you can find it, and I hope it's more available, have some Purell or some other hand hygiene product in your car.
If hand sanitizer can't kill the virus, what's the point of using it?
In order to infect cells, the virus has to be, really intact for it to attach in inner cells and that sort of thing. It has a lipid layer, and I think soaps, detergents, and most of the hand hygiene products really disrupt the virus and make it non-infectious. They may be able to detect the genetic material by these sophisticated tests, but a good amount of soap or a good amount of a hand hygiene product, an alcohol-based hand hygiene product, or other products will interrupt the outer layer of the virus and really render it inactive.
If the virus can live on a surface for days, can it still make me sick?
You see studies where people take a hard surface in an indoor area with a controlled environment, and they can detect virus there at 3 days, but it doesn't mean that it's infectious. They can detect the genetic material of the virus, but there may have been enough degradation that it's not infectious. But having said that, again, I just think it's a good habit where we're in this coronavirus outbreak, which is going to last for a while, that whatever you touch, a hard surface in an primarily indoor public area, consider potentially contaminated.
Committed to bringing you facts, not fear. Monica Robins, 3 News.
And a huge thanks to the doctor for answering those questions. Speaking of connecting with the experts, how about this? Our Russ Mitchell's going straight to the source. He's going to talk one-on-one with Ohio Health Director Dr. Amy Acton. That's tomorrow. If you want your questions answered by Dr. Acton, send them to us on social media. Use the hashtag 3AskActon. The interview with Dr. Acton will air tomorrow at 6 on What Matters Most, and then again at 11 on What's Next. And for all other coronavirus concerns, we can answer those as well. To get a direct link to our coverage on your phone, just text the word FACTS to 216-344-3300. Again, that's a text, not a phone call. 216-344-3300. 3 News Connect is coming right back.
Your home a new look with updated
Well, now that our stimulus checks are on the way, we know there are some questions about your financial future you probably have. So we connected with expert Elizabeth Scheider with NCA Financial Planners to ask your questions. And first, how should you be spending those stimulus checks, employed or unemployed?
So one of the first things you could do is check out your safety net. How much do you have in cash right now? How much do you have liquid? Should you put this money just in a safety net in case maybe you do lose your job in the future? Or maybe you have some upcoming expenses that typically you would use your investments to pay for. You could go ahead and earmark it for that. And if you're unemployed and you receive the check, this is the time for you to use that money to hopefully avoid having to go into credit card debt or having to spend down investments that really are not doing that well right now. And so take that check, treat it like a paycheck, and go ahead and pay for those expenses.
So it might be easy to watch the market every day if you're in either scenario, but Scheider's biggest tip, don't.
It's just already an emotionally challenging time right now. And so if you could say, I'm going to limit financial market TV to a half hour a day or 1 hour a week, I highly recommend it. We can only control so much. And so thinking long-term, staying invested, turn off that TV.
And if you're unsure how to look at long-term and create a solid financial plan, this is probably a good time for you to reach out to a financial planner. And we've got a stimulus calculator on our website so you can see how much you'll be getting. Just text the word check to 216-344-3300. We'll get it straight to you. Remember, that's a text, not a call.
Well, I'm sure most of our viewers remember this image, the heartfelt message left behind from a mystery patient who was being treated for COVID-19 at the Cleveland Clinic. He left the message on a window and it caught our hearts last week. Well, we found the author, and our Dorsina Drakeford connected with Nick Brown of Tuscarawas County, who is definitely a 3 hero.
Nick Brown's first hospitalization was his scariest. A seemingly harmless headache and fever ended in the intensive care unit.
And so I ended up being at the Cleveland Clinic there in the ICU for about 3 days before I got the test results back telling me that I was indeed a COVID-19 positive case.
Dr. Eduardo Morales recalling Nick's time in the hospital.
He was in isolation for 10 days inside that room without being able to communicate, without being with his family.
7 days on life support and away from those who cared for him, only having video calls to communicate.
You're left in an ICU. You don't have control over anything, even bodily functions. I mean, somebody has to clean up after you.
Almost 3 weeks in the hospital, scared and alone. He called it humbling, but it was the humanity, he says, that'll stick with him even away from the hospital bed.
Those nurses and doctors, they would take care of me, and they would talk to me, and they would try and comfort me, and they made me feel like I was their own family.
It's the inspiration behind this, the writing on the window.
So I wrote, "This window has been the most impactful window in my life. On days when I watched you work hard to keep me and others alive, unable to thank you enough."
The message coming from gratitude and awe of what healthcare professionals go through.
Every time I read it, it becomes even more strong for me. I mean, he calls us rock stars, but it's the other way around.
It's a small sign that he hopes touches all caregivers because this virus has no mercy, but those on the front line do.
As I was getting closer to being better, they had written at the bottom of the window, "We will get you home."
And Nick is at home doing very well, but as you can see behind me, the gratitude doesn't just stop with patients. This sign saying thank you is at the Cleveland Clinic Fairview Park location. And Nick did mention one other thing. He says we have to listen to our officials because we never know who will impact. Dorsina Drakeford, 3 News.
Dorsina, thank you very much. It's great that we can hear from patients that have been treated and have recovered. And Monica, there are 2 things that we know for sure. The healthcare workers that are treating patients with COVID-19 on the front lines are working tirelessly. The other thing we know is they are infected at a much higher rate than the regular population. We cannot say enough to the job that they are doing to keep us well. while putting themselves in harm's way. It really is thankless work, and our hearts and our thoughts go out to everyone who is fighting this illness.
Jay, you are so right. Of course, today is National Doctors Day as well. And although this day is honoring those people who take care of us 24/7, you're exactly right. It's not just them. It's the people in the food service who keep feeding these people at the hospital. It's the folks, the janitorial service who keep cleaning up. It's the lady who answers the phone or the gentleman who handles anything else that, you go through. Every single one of these people is putting their own life at risk because they are, on the front lines of this. Some of them had to be separated from their own families, and some of them are even putting their own families at risk because they don't know if they're getting infected. So you're exactly right, and every single one of us should be exceptionally grateful for what these people are doing and every single first responder out there. So happy National Doctors Day to our doctors, but deepest thanks to every single one of you on the front lines. We want to see your heroes. Send us a picture and a brief description of your nominee by texting us at 216-344-3300. We want to share them with everybody else, and we'll share them on the air. So text the photo, again, 216-344-3300. It's a text, not a call.
Upgrade your home fast and save.
So what about keeping those kids motivated? We are now entering week 3 of students being at home, and with the rest of the school year in question, parents, you could be in this for the long haul. So Ohio Connections Academy, an online charter school, tells us there are things to keep students motivated. They said, you have to stay motivated, parents. To do that, remember the 3 C's. First, communication. Stay in touch with your kids' school and teachers. Next, consistency. Set a schedule and really try to stick to it. And third, get creative.
So especially with the younger students, have some sort of reward system. So after they read a certain amount of pages in a book, they get a sticker. And then after so many stickers, they might earn time to play a video game or to watch TV or to run around outside. So have some reward system set in place. And maybe for older kiddos, they could earn a certain amount of stickers to earn an activity that they really enjoy doing outside of school.
So here's a fun way to get creative: home experiments and activities to keep your kids' brains stimulated. How are you keeping your brain stimulated, Jay?
Well, I'm trying to play as many mind stimulation games as I can on my phone. There are games out there that actually say, just keeping those synapses firing in your brain. So that I'm doing my part. I don't know if it's helping or not. Lindsey Buckingham wanted some recommendations for how kids can stay busy during this time. So she did a very smart thing. She went to the Great Lakes Science Center to get some recommendations for the kiddos.
How's everybody doing this week? Are you finding enough activities for your kids? I, for one, could use a few more. So I tapped my buddy Robin from the Great Lakes Science Center, who's going to show you a really cool science experiment, and all you need are a few items right in your home. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Robin from Great Lakes Science Center. For today's at-home STEM activity, I thought we would be innovative and make our very own squishy toys. They're also really good stress relievers. Here's what you need: 2 parts cornstarch to 1 part water. When you mix cornstarch with water, the cornstarch doesn't dissolve. It suspends in the liquid and forms something called a colloid. Under high pressure, it behaves like a solid, and under low pressure, a liquid. Just like what's inside squishy toys. Once you've worked together to come up with the perfect recipe, grab a funnel and a balloon, and you have your own squishy toy.
Thank you so much, Robin. Great stuff there. Okay, now we're gonna try a little something in my house. I saw it on the Today Show, and all you need are a few simple ingredients. A container filled with water, a couple of your favorite little toys or dinosaurs. You stick it in the freezer for a few hours. Then, voila! And now we're ready to dig. As you can see, I put a tablecloth down, something plastic because you're gonna get a little wet. Then they get their tools. Next thing I'm gonna do, yes, it is ice. Next thing I'm gonna do is pour a little bit of warm water on there, just to get it a little bit mushy. And then in a couple of minutes, we just had a few household items and we have a little icy fun for these future paleontologists. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. This is simple stuff. We're gonna bring you more. And of course, let us know what you're doing at home too.
Mom, I said I love you, Mom.
I love you.
Lindsey Buckingham, 3 News.
Very cute, Lindsey. Thank you very much. We know there are out there heroes that are making us all smile. We want to know about them, so please take a picture. Send us a brief description of your nominee. Text them to us. We want to share them with our viewers on the air. Again, that's text a photo and a brief description to 216-344-3300. 3 News Connect is back to wrap up right after this.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had
cheer someone up, make their day. Who doesn't love Girl Scout cookies? Well, the Girl Scouts always order more than they're going to sell, and then they have those stands at various stores, but those got shut down. So now the Girl Scouts have a surplus of cookies. Listen to what they decided to do with them. They decided that they will donate those cookies through a program called Virtual Cookie Share. Someone nominates a group helping fight COVID-19, selects the boxes they want to donate. So far, local troops have donated to everywhere, from hospitals like the Lake West ER and law enforcement like Cleveland Heights Fire.
We're letting the men and women in the medical profession and the police and other people that are still what we call working in the trenches know that they're cared about. And that we appreciate them because they're putting their lives on the line more so than usual because they're exposing themselves. And we know across the nation, a lot of nurses and physicians have died from this. And so if we can just bring a little bit of, we're thinking about you and here's a 5-minute break, then it's worth it.
It most certainly is. If you'd like to donate some cookies, visit WKYC.com for a link. Pretty cool, Monica.
Those are the stories we love to see, Jay. Thank you all so much for joining us. You know we'll be here at noon again tomorrow for 3 News Connects.
Betsy Clayton will join me at 5 with What's New. We'll see you then. Stay safe.
Hi, my name's